looks where shadows play. Legends come alive at the break of day. Footsteps echo loud, but no one's there. Bigfoot's lurking in the midnight air. Darkman house beneath the moonlit gloom. Eyes that shine like fire in a room of doom. Poltergeist dancing, moving through the halls. Ancient secrets breaking through the walls. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in a silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fright. Cryptids in your mind, let your wonder grow. The hidden world is ours to know. From the forest deep to the attic's dust store. O.C.S.T, we're learning to trust. Tracks in the snow where the brave won't tread. Hidden voices calling from the things we've read. The unknown sings with a haunting sound, empowering us as the tales go around. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in a silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fight. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fight. Fueled by the fight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to O.C.S.T.
Bigfoot and stuff. Sorry, I always mess that up. Doesn't matter.
I'm your host, Harold, and this is
me,
Christy.
Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, aka Jiffy Pop. It's good to see everybody tonight. Let's scroll through here and say some individual highs. So we got Sharon Guy. Good to see you.
Sharon with two
Sharon
R's.
with two R's. Good to see you too.
Michelle McGuire. Hi.
Hey,
How
Michelle.
you doing?
We got.
So I have a question. What do you guys think of that song? The opening song for Bigfoot and stuff. Hi, Ramona.
Elder Medicine Bear Claw. Tunsi, Ramona.
Hey,
El Smurfy.
Smurfy.
Good to
Hey,
see you.
Grace. How you doing?
Grace.
Or
good to see
AI
you.
Mode. I believe they're the same people.
AI Mode.
Maybe. I don't know. Figgy, what's
Figgy.
up?
Good to see you. Emmy.
Hello, Emmy.
Good to see you, Emmy.
And
Katrina. Hi. Good to see
hey,
you.
Kat. How you doing, sweetheart? That's Connor's.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
And
Who else?
Jim.
Jim's
Hey,
camera
Jim.
dog.
How are you, buddy?
Good to see you, Jim. We have
Hey, CP.
CP. Hey,
Nice
CP.
to see you.
Good to see
Long
you.
time no see, hon.
Let's see. Who else?
Dana.
Yeah, Dana Affliction. Good to see you.
And of course, CJ, the
CJ's in the house.
smaller Bigfoot.
All right. So tonight, we're going to have Abnormal Investigations join us. So far, we've got Jess waiting backstage.
Yeah, she looks really bored.
Arcane Paranormal. Y'all need to check her show out.
Yeah, she's awesome. She did a boots on the ground last night. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I think she kind of got a little freaked out for a second last night, but I'll let her tell you all about that when she comes up. But it was an amazing show.
Yeah. Michelle, you were you made a comment earlier about wish you were able to share pictures in the chat. Well, I posted my link to Bigfoot and stuff on Facebook Messenger. You can click on that link, and if you want to share any pictures, just when you post the picture on there, just quote whether or not you want it shared on the show. You know, you can do just a simple yes or no, and I'll get what that means.
Maybe he'll maybe remember it. I will try. I will try to remember it.
Yeah, because we can share pictures on here. I finally figured it out, but it's like I'm slowly figuring out a lot of things on here. But yeah. Did anybody answer when you asked about how they like the?
Yeah. I think it was Michelle that said she liked it. Hang on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wrote the song basically, and then had AI do all the instrumental and stuff. So
He said, "Let's get the party started." Jim said, yeah, Michelle said that she liked it.
Cool.
Yeah. But hey, we got some people in the backstage. Let's get this party started. Ooh. Okay.
Yep, we got AI Mike showing up.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, tonight we're gonna draw into a little bit more about cryptid and the paranormal. So with that being said, let's bring these guys up.
So Sunshine. Hi, Sunshine.
Wow, that's a big screen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can.
And wait a second.
I can cut it down.
Yeah, there.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Jess.
Hello. So what? We have the late arrival, not even showing his face. Oh, there we go.
Hello. Cornbread.
Hello. Jessie's showing that forehead tonight. She got the bandana on. She's ready.
Boy, leave her alone. I got you, girl.
Oh, thank you.
No.
She got you.
Yeah, here you go, Jess. Oh my God. Oh.
Wow.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah. So last night, Christy was asking me, she says, or she tells me, we need to come up with a nickname for you. I'm like, I don't know.
You guys have to think about a nickname for Harold.
Probably don't want Jessie involved in that.
I'm not good at nicknames, I'll tell you. I'm not good at picking out
Can I put
nicknames.
this closer to us?
Yep.
It feels like I'm okay there.
Yeah.
We had to move the table. Sorry, y'all.
I don't know if it was the wind or what.
It was the
Something
wind.
hit the back
Yeah.
of the house. Yeah.
The wind has been nuts in Oklahoma today. I don't know about for you, Mike, but I swear to goodness, I
Yeah, it's
thought.
been terrible. They had a
Yeah. Go ahead.
we had a whole town evacuated this morning. The whole town. So yeah, pretty bad.
Is it a fire or what?
Yeah.
Shoot,
yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah, Pawnee, Oklahoma. Yeah, it wasn't us. It was Pawnee, Oklahoma. They done. I think it was like at 6:30 this morning. They done a a national alert or something for them to evacuate immediately, that the fire department could not stop the fire line. The fire department was actually having to retreat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm just gonna throw this out there right now. CRJ. Sorry, I was reading chat. Our prayers go out. Our prayers go out to everyone affected by the wildfires in Oklahoma right now. It is crazy to think that
It's okay.
I have a few friends that lost everything. Our church friends that have lost everything in the fires. So yeah. So we're Harold and I have come up with an idea or a thought that we have to go through his storage unit soon. And so whatever we don't keep here, we're going to donate 100% to the people that were affected by the wildfires. Yeah. So
that's nice.
In the surrounded areas. So
and there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff and a lot of people that need it. So.
And don't feel bad, Christy, for talking to yourself. I do that a lot, especially whenever I need expert, advice.
Yeah, well, I'm not no expert by any means, but no, I was reading the chat, and then Jim said something, and it caught my. Yeah.
I do that. I do that a lot.
It just really bad though when you're talking to yourself and you hear yourself go, "Shut up, you don't know nothing."
Yeah, you got problems when it starts answering.
I always tell my kids that I'm certifiable crazy, so hey.
Tell them, say, I got papers.
I'm not saying what kind of papers, but no. So how are you feeling tonight, Mike? I know you had
I've had a migraine all day yesterday, and then most of today. It's better now. I got some new medication, got it down, and finally put my phone on silent so Jesse would leave me alone. I got a little bit of sleep, so yeah, I'm feeling better now.
Whatever.
That's
okay.
Good.
I mean, I'm glad you my fault. Whatever you said about Jess, whatever. We leave her alone. Why are you always picking on her? She did not do nothing to you.
It seems like I'm the one that just seems to fall asleep when my phone rings in the middle of the night.
Leave her alone.
What is going on?
Abuse is more than just physical. I get it, mentally.
Oh,
wow, the gaslighting.
Well, I have had to watch somebody, so I've learned how to do it. Poor Mike.
So Jim said that you're the butter if I'm Jiffy Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So you're butter.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes that one.
Yeah.
I am totally going to refrain from that statement that I was going to say. That could go so good right now, but no.
I almost tempted to pop popcorn and throw it at the screen tonight, but see, the thing is that I just got done eating food, dinner.
That would be a waste too.
Yeah. No, I don't waste popcorn. I'd be going. Yeah, I don't waste popcorn.
My dad, before he passed away, he would eat a bag of popcorn every night at 8:00. We would always pop him a bag of popcorn. That's what he wanted, and every night he would eat a bag of popcorn.
Yeah.
And how many boxes of popcorn did you buy in the?
Oh my God, I couldn't even. Yeah, I couldn't even count.
Huh? How many boxes of popcorn do we buy on a monthly?
Yeah.
Hello, Sharon.
Probably 2 of the big boxes.
Yeah, 2 or 3, depending on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depending on how many of the
What
kids.
Do y'all put?
Huh?
Do y'all put ranch or anything? Do you put any seasonings on yours?
No.
Well,
I have, but I have to check the back door.
Yeah, I think the back door's getting.
Oh, it's not locked. What the hell?
No, they forgot to lock the back door.
Uh-oh.
Well, at least the door is shut. My kid likes to go out the door and leave it wide open.
Oh, maybe
middle
we
of
could
middle
have
of winter.
Bigfoot sit down for an interview.
Yeah, I know what I know what Jesse's going through. I think Kaylee sets me up too, because I'll wake up some mornings after she's let her dog out and the door's like open, and I'm like, I was
Yeah.
laying here asleep in the chair with the door open. All the enemies, that a person could have, and here you are, just open to the world.
Wake up to find raccoons and squirrels eating out of the cat bowl in the kitchen.
Right.
Awesome.
Like, are you trying to say something? I guess from working in security all my life, I've always, especially if you're asleep, it's a good idea to have the doors locked, because nowadays, I mean, a homeless man or a convict or somebody, walking down the road, they look over, they see the door open. Hey,
Yeah.
just,
Well,
little old me laying there in the chair.
there's a lot of people that live out in the country. They say, oh, I never lock my door. Well, yeah, you're the ones that are having to deal with the bobcat or a mountain lion coming up on your porch and then being like, ooh.
Yeah. And I get scared too. Little old me just laying there in a chair, vulnerable and everything. It scares me.
You get scared, but yet you go boots on the ground in the middle of the night, and I'm not going to finish.
That's my twin.
Your guard is down at home. When you're at home, your guard is down. You're supposed to be relaxed. It's supposed to be your sanctuary. Different. I keep my doors locked even during the day. I don't trust anybody around here. I don't trust anybody, period. But
I lock the doors. Yeah,
I do too. I don't like surprises, Harold.
No. Used to lock the doors just to make sure dogs didn't get out, but then the crime got worse, and now I have to keep them out instead of keeping them in.
The dogs? Or the crime, the people?
Dogs, thieves, Bigfoot, dog man. Yeah.
They will come in your house.
Hello, Sean. Who else was in here that I saw?
Let's see. Yeah, was it Sean Patterson? Good to see you, Sean.
Anybody else new in here? Anybody else new?
So is Randy's internet still down?
Yes. Yeah. He got hit pretty hard. The wind took out his internet, and I think they got some other damage. But I think tomorrow he has a tech coming out, so he should be up and running. I think tomorrow. I think that's what he said was the 20th.
Okay, well,
that's good.
Continue press for that too.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, we would be up a creek with no paddle with no internet, especially when I work from home 4 days a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Gotta have the internet.
No, she does not need a nickname. Her nickname is Arcane.
Oh, I got a few nicknames for her.
Yeah, well, they have to be nice.
Y'all are really making it hard tonight.
Well, okay, so I'm just gonna let you guys know if Cammie texts me, I have to go pick her up from work. So
yep,
he'll be by himself. Don't talk about it.
So it's bad enough you're making digs on me. I'm not even looking at the chat, and you're talking smack in the chat too. What the heck?
Yeah,
I'm always talking smack.
Yeah.
We better kick this off before we all get in some major trouble.
I'm trying to be nice. Dang.
Right? I know. He's just being mean.
Yeah, well, this is Bigfoot and stuff, so.
Well, I don't think it's the stuff is pick on Jess night.
That's always pick on Jess night.
Jim, yeah, it's called the CRJ taxi service.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
So what does CRJ stand for? Is that like your full name initials? Is that what that is?
It stands for Christy Renee Jurina.
Yep.
Jurina? That's a Not a real common last name.
No,
Nope.
I
it's
actually
not.
thought when I first saw your name the first time, I thought it was maybe Hispanic and it was Harina because the J.
Nope. They were cool, Colton. Yeah.
We could ask.
Colton is showing his gloves that he got today in the UPS, or not UPS, Amazon. They're like
Oh, that's
racing
cool.
gloves or whatever.
So,
to
do you
go
have a
with-
son? Do you have a son named Connor?
Yes, I do. He's in the chat. This
That's
is
the
my
same
future
name.
son-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
My son is his name is Connor also.
Oh, really? So is LIB's,
Uh-huh.
right? Did I say that right?
His is a Conner is how I spelled his.
Yep, and so is Connor's in the chat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hello, Connor. Nice to meet you. And I'm sorry
Okay,
that you.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, AKA Bigfoot. And this, come here,
Bigfoot.
Colton.
Yeah.
Colton, come here. And this is Colton, everybody. This is my future son-in-law.
Hello.
Hello,
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you all.
And then, of course, Cammie will be home when I go get her.
Yep.
And we'll see how her night went.
I saw the small. Sorry about y'all's life, but I have to tell y'all this.
Come on.
This is the coolest thing I
Is-
saw. There
Is
was this,
Cammy the one that works at the
Yeah.
restaurant? Okay.
Yep.
you see that jack? That's a floor jack. That's my
Mhm.
foot.
Uh-huh.
That's a 12-ton jack, right?
Did it drop on your
No,
foot?
listen. They made a 24-ton jack. That's about this small, and it's got two wheels on it and a handle, and
Mhm.
it's a 24-ton jack.
And you-
24 tons.
And you didn't bring it home?
I tried.
Go. Okay.
Yeah, that's if I can have it. It was air compressor.
Oh,
Everything.
wow.
It was cool.
Yeah, Colton went and did some mobile detailing today
Ceramic
in
wrap,
Tulsa.
ceramic spray.
Yeah.
I did a coating on.
Kat says she's just hurt.
Okay.
Oh, I saw the damage of the fire.
Mhm.
Big old T-town.
I don't know why that shit looked like I was in a war zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colton said he saw the damage of the fires up that way, and he
Yeah, on
said,
the way home, we came south of Gulf 3 through there and came up here.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it literally looked like a war zone. Houses, cars. I mean, there was a lot of people that lost a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was
Sad.
probably a good 3 or 4 miles of just a burnt highway all
Mhm.
the way down. It was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully those
Even-
winds will calm down.
Even in town of Guthrie, in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
going down that big hill, about to go to the highway,
Mm-hmm.
there's the neighborhood right there caught on fire too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I haven't been in the Guthrie in a couple days, so
Yeah, just prayers out to all of them. Just big fire.
Yep. cousin Stephanie is
All right.
in here right now.
Um,
Stephanie, my cousin Stephanie that goes to church with us.
we got Sharon asking you, Mike, if you want to tell an encounter we've never heard before. So,
Oh.
want to or want to save it for your show?
Oh no, it don't matter to me. I don't even know the ones I've even talked about.
Just start. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing a book right now, so you start asking yourself, okay, is this one I've told or is this one that I wrote? Probably. Let's see. Well, there was a time whenever my granny had her stroke, and she used to, whenever she could walk before that, she used to like to go, and her and grandpa would always sit out in the yard because back then we didn't, have air conditioners. So the shade trees were planted all around the house, and they would sit in the yard. Probably my granny and grandpa would probably sit in the yard most of all day until evening time because it would be so hot. They would just sit under the shade trees and drink hot coffee in the heat. I always told grandpa, how do you drink hot coffee when it's so hot out here? And he would say that it actually cooled him off. He'd say, oh, it cools me off. So there may be something to that. I don't know, but that's what he said. But Yeah, they would sit out there and they like to watch the weather come in. I was raised in the country, so whenever the storms would be coming, we could always see them plumb up into Kansas. We could see the lightning show and know it was coming. They used to like to watch it. And one night, Granny was sitting in the chair in the front room when she'd had her stroke. And I asked her if she'd like to go watch the lightning because there was lightning coming down out of Kansas. And she hadn't got to do that in a while. So I loaded her up in a wheelchair and I pushed her outside and set her on the porch. And we sat there and watched the lightning come across. And as the lightning flashed out by the old well, something was running across the pasture. And I was like, did you see that? And she just looks at me and just smiles. I mean, she was really, I don't think she was ever afraid of it. She was more cautious, I guess, because if it got close to the house, she'd kind of look at you and she'd be like, it's time to go in. And her dad was full blood Cherokee. So she had that Indian look and that Indian, talk, how they would talk. And she's like, it's time to go in, and I'd wheel her in. We'd lock the doors. And the weird thing is, I don't know if a lot of people have experienced this, but I noticed it, at least down there. The feeling was if you was in the house, the windows and the doors were locked, you were safe. And it was never questioned. It was always, as long as you're in the house and the doors are locked, the windows are locked, and they put up thick blankets over the windows so you couldn't see the shadows. But it was always a feeling that if you were in the house, you were safe. I mean, as a kid, I would always wonder, watching movies and stuff, what happens, Grandma, if they tear the door down? Oh, they won't tear the door down. They don't want in here that bad, And but it was like they knew. It's like they knew. They were like, oh, it's not going to come in the house, But then they would tell you, you don't want to go outside. So it's like there was an understanding, maybe.
Yeah, it's like at my grandparents' house when I was little. We had the demons and stuff upstairs and outside, but downstairs was a safe haven. They never ventured inside the house downstairs. So anytime any of us felt uneasy, go downstairs because that's where everybody congregated and that's where everybody had their safe zone.
Kind of
Even
like
though-
Latricia,
Yeah.
Her bedroom, the hallway, and what else was it? Her bedroom, hallway, and bathroom, I believe. No, closet. It was a closet. They would have the most trouble with. And for some reason, she said the front room or the kitchen, it never really bothered her. But I think it did bother her friend, though, because when she talked about her friend getting in an argument with that entity, her friend was in the kitchen. So it's weird that it didn't bother her there, but it went and bothered her friend there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't really go into that, but I found that interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because usually they'll, if they're going to bother one person in one area, they're going to bother everybody else.
Right.
But maybe, just maybe there was something that that tied her to the kitchen that this entity didn't like. So it kind of stayed off from her. Something that there's like at my grandpa and grandma's house, the chest being upstairs. There's only a certain few of us that when we were around that chest, we would start seeing and hearing things. Everybody else would go up there, and they have the light off, nothing appears, no sound or nothing, but only select people. So they have the ability to know that they can get at you somehow, or they just either choose not to because of conflict. There could be they know that there could be some kind of conflict, or there could be the fact that they're able to get in here and know whether or not you're vulnerable. So
I'm gonna have to go pick up Cam.
okay.
I'll see you guys in a
Yeah.
little bit.
Bring back some Mexican.
No promises. I'm just trying to
There's
live
I'll tell you an encounter. I can't use the name, but I know this person very, 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 very well. They had a picture that they had bought at a thrift show, and this picture was an Indian, and this Indian in the photograph of the picture would have conversations with this individual, and it would ask him what his kids' names were and where he was from, and just like it would sing Indian songs to him. And the guy even started when he was laying in bed, he would feel something set on the bed behind him, and then whenever he would look, there would be nothing there. The weird thing is, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I actually have that picture. It's out in out in my building. It's not in the house, but the name. He even got the name of the Indian. He asked the Indian what his name was, and the Indian in the photo told him what his name was. He said his name was Leaning Feather, was his name. So.
Wow.
And what are you planning on doing with this photo? Are you gonna start working on your own collection of strange things that you find and
Well,
create your own museum?
the photograph, normally I would have trashed it, got rid of it, but it belonged to somebody very close to me, so it has sentimental value with it, and I've had a hard time separating the two and getting rid of it. So I think Mom said it's going to the burn pile. We're getting ready to clean out the building this year, so I'm sure it will probably be burnt. But it's just something that at the time we lost that person. They've now passed away, so it was hard to get rid of it. But it's got to go. I mean, there's nothing good about it. I mean, the photo is evil. I mean,
that's if it will burn, because sometimes stuff like that won't tend to burn.
Yeah, I had a friend that burned a Ouija board, and they heard something scream and went out to the trash pile, and they said everything burnt but the Ouija board. It was black, but it didn't burn.
Right. My little brother and sister, they brought home a Motley Crue album, and my mom found it, and she was like, "Get rid of that. I don't care if you have to burn it." And so they went and had me start up the barbecue pit in behind the house, and we burnt the album. And the next day I go to clean out the barbecue pit, and the album is crisp, clean, and new, sitting in the barbecue pit after it was nothing but ashes. Yeah. So we just tossed it in the trash. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I've and I do not recommend anybody watch this video, but an officer that I worked with at the time, he sent a video home with me to watch, and it wasn't the movie, it was the documentary of the Haunting of Connecticut. And I do not recommend that to anybody. That is full of evil. It actually caused things to start happening in my house. I grabbed the disc out of the player, and it's still out there in the pasture somewhere. But yeah, it was very, very disturbing. You got a guy in your chat. I don't know who it is. Stinky.
She's She's been a member for a little while. When she comes in, she's autistic, so
Okay.
But yeah, Stinky, if you keep permitting people in the chat, I'm gonna have to boot you. All right, sorry guys.
I didn't know if it was somebody you were looking for tonight and you just didn't see them, or.
Nah. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Figgy's right.
Hello.
Ouija
Why,
boards
hello
open
there.
portals. They can be dangerous. Can be very dangerous, actually.
Even a mirror inside of a room can be used as a portal.
Mhm.
Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, Mike. Hi,
Now
Jess.
you're now
Hello.
you're on the big screen now. There's no hiding now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was in my room and I forgot I told my mom that I would help Harold with the live when she went to go get Cammy. So sorry about that. I was a little bit late.
I
Yeah.
was too, though.
Jess, tell us a little bit about what happened last night in your live. You know, you had a headache.
Oh. Yeah. Well, there was, and I know everybody said I got zapped, and it was weird, but the headache, the pain. I don't even say it was a headache. It was a pain.
Mm-hmm.
I had the sharp pain in the right side of my head, and I can't even remember. Everything is like a blur from last night too. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
from probably about the time that it happened, I remember hearing the coyotes and feeling the increased anxiety and the pain in my head, but I do remember the pressure. The pressure is the one thing that actually stuck out last night the most. Because
Right.
it was not a normal head pain headache. It was because one other time when I had the pain on my on the side of my head, I was up in um, mid upper
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin, still in southeast, but top southeast. I was doing some investigating and I had come across some tree structures and stuff like that. And on my way out, I had a really bad pain on the right side of my head. And that's what the first one felt like. But the second hit, it was like my head was literally in between two vices just pushing my skull together. That's exactly, I mean, the best way I could explain how it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, if I get a headache or a migraine, it's almost like my head wants to explode. So it, it, it was very strange, very odd feeling last night, but it was painful. It hurt like,
HE double stop hockey sticks.
yeah. I mean, I can usually deal with a lot of pain. I've got a high pain tolerance, but that was horrible. And like I said, everything is just kind of a fog from last night too. I mean, I remember getting out and walking out and getting to the car, and it even took me a little while once I even got to the car last night to kind of get adjusted. And I had to sit there I was probably sitting in there for about a half an hour, just
Yeah.
trying to like recompose, and which normally doesn't happen. Normally,
Now,
I could even jump in the car and go.
if at any point that you were having those pains or the
Attacks.
pressure, did you feel like something was trying to uh, manipulate your thoughts, or have you move in a direction that you didn't want to move?
No,
So,
no, because I mean, like I said, I feel the anxiety spike. That's the best way I can describe it because, like, I deal with anxiety on a daily basis the way it is.
mhm.
but this was kind of like like walking into a wall. Just bam, my anxiety just shot up, but then I could kind of feel it gradually like coming back down, and I could start to feel better. But the pain, but no, I don't feel like I was drawn anywhere specifically. But like I said, it just seemed like a fog.
Right. When you started feeling that, was there anything that you noticed out of the ordinary, like in your surroundings?
Mm. Surrounding what? I mean, no, I was hearing there'd be once in a while, and I don't know if it was ever caught on camera, like in the speakers or the volume or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There would be times where I could hear what sounded like footsteps coming in different directions, but they would only be like a 1-2 or a 1-2-3.
Right.
And it was mainly towards, let's see, so which way would that be facing? So it was towards the east. So it would have been the left side walking out.
Mm-hmm.
So the east side of the path. But yet, no, because I do recall there was a couple areas even more towards when I was walking out.
Right.
I could feel it more. Like maybe they were just watching to make sure I was leaving. I don't know if there was actually something. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I didn't see anything, but
I remember you mentioning when you were on your way out, you were saying that you heard something walking, and then you mentioned a couple times about that what you heard might be squirrels. You know.
well,
So,
that's why I said I don't think it could have been. Some of them could have been. I don't know. It depends on when. There was a few times when I had heard something and thought, I mean, the first thing that would come to my mind is, okay, a squirrel, a raccoon, a rabbit, something like that. But there were the ones that stuck out were the actual footsteps, because when you hear a squirrel or a rabbit, you kind of hear it scurrying across. You can hear the leaves, especially right now when they're still on the ground. But this was more like a crunch, 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 crunch.
right. Like
So
there was actual weight distribution with some width between them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's why when I was looking and then I was distracted and I went back to look, which unfortunately I tried to rewatch the video last night, but because my video was mass reported, I couldn't locate anything that I needed to in there because it kept giving me problems on the replay.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately. So hopefully once it's released, I can actually rewatch it and look for some of the stuff that I was trying to find. But even in the areas that I was hearing those steps, I mean, and I don't know if you guys could tell from the video, but the amount of shrubs and overgrowth and vines I mean, it is so thick in there that there's not a whole lot of big animals that could, I mean, deer would be really, they would struggle trying to get through all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I know these other things can manipulate and move through them very easily, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like when I was out in the woods with Christy for the first time, we were doing the parallel forest, and right at the end, it's in the video, but right at the end, when I was getting ready to sign off, it was weird because there hadn't been any wind all day, right? We were out there for like 4.5 hours. The whole time we were there was no wind. The place emptied out as soon as we got there. People just left, so me and her were the only ones there. The elk were up over the ridge, and it was starting to get dark, so I could understand hearing like deer and stuff like that, but the deer in that area, they stay out pretty much till way after dark because they know how frequently humans go in there. But we were headed on the main trail on the way out, and the wind picked up. When the wind picked up, yeah, I saw leaves swirling and all that. But then I start hearing footsteps on one side, heavy footsteps on one side of me, and then heavy footsteps behind Christy. And it goes from footstep to a faster stomp, and it gets closer, and then it goes all the way around us, and then you can hear it on the video. I didn't hear it live at the time. I didn't hear it, but right in my ear, right behind me, something was right behind me, and it just goes into my ear, just, and of course I didn't hear it when I'm there, but it's just these things, whatever it was, had the ability to completely encircle us. I know it was more than one, but had the ability to completely encircle us without even being seen. And then to be able to sneak up behind me, and Christy staring right at me doesn't even see it, and yet it roars in my ear. You know, so things out in the woods like that, creatures like that, it's amazing how they can hide. It's amazing how they can hide in plain sight. And when you're going through the woods with a flashlight, you're going to catch something eventually if you're pointing the flashlight right on it, you know. But most of the time, by the time you point that flashlight, these things are, you know,
they're gone.
Yeah.
Especially when we were filming the Blood Moon thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to.
That's. Yeah. That's. Go ahead.
When me and Harold were filming the Blood Moon eclipse that happened just a couple of days ago, we were outside in the backyard, and I kept on hearing this god awful screech. I was like, "What in Lord's name is that?" I grabbed the flashlight and I turned my phone, because I was using my phone to turn, like, to film the moon. And I was like, I had the flashlight in my other hand, and I was moving them both simultaneously to see if I could catch anything on my phone. And no, I don't think I caught anything on the video.
Yeah. See, I haven't had a chance to review that yet, but yeah. Sorry, Jess.
No, I was gonna say that's kind of how I thought that the first night that I went out there, because I'm thinking, oh, there's probably nothing out there in this area. And in that first live that I did, I had this overwhelming feeling that there was something watching me in this particular spot, and I couldn't see anything right away. But then when I moved my flashlight back, I realized that it moved, and then ended up catching it in the video after all.
Mm-hmm.
I shocked myself. I didn't think I caught anything there. So
hopefully that what happened. That was what happened to my video feed, because I was on live and trying to film.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Let's see if you can answer this. What John says: do any of you ever worry that some of what you hear sometimes is enhanced by the mind because you're all amped up and want to run into something? The mind can play tricks on us too.
That's a really good question. Yeah, John, I do believe that some people do make the mistake by being amped up, and we do have misidentifications in the woods. I believe that probably happens more so than not. But as far as a lot of the evidence that I will call evidence that I find, most of what I find will either be supported by a recording of either audio or video or IR. So if you can carry equipment with you that can show that what you're seeing or hearing is not just you, or even a witness is good. Witnesses are good sometimes, and I think that witnesses are okay sometimes. And I think whenever
Mhm.
we experience a sound or a visual sighting, it's better to have video and audio than it is a witness, because most people are going to say, well, that's his friend and he's going to back his buddy. And then one more thing to add to that, and this is probably going to cause me some controversy, just a little bit, but I was listening to a guy talk last night, and he was talking about how, as investigators now, that we're wasting our time going into the woods because there is so much AI out there right now that people don't know, what's
Mhm.
real and what's not. So people shouldn't be going into the woods. We should be relying on what had happened before AI. I 100% disagree. Um, and the reason I disagree is because AI, to me, I can pretty much tell if it's AI or if it's not AI.
Oh yeah.
And another thing too, that's like saying, well, this guy has a brain tumor, and 9 times out of 10, when they operate it, people die. But there is that 1% chance that some people do survive it. I mean, so what do? You find a doctor that you trust. You don't let any doctor do that surgery. You find a doctor that you trust. So
Mhm.
I think that what we need to do is we need our people that are boots on the ground for the evidence, but we also need to know their integrity and where they stand, and to know their foundation, and to know that they are a truther, as Jesse would say, and to know that we can believe what they're saying. Because the moment we stop going into the woods and we stop getting our boots dirty, then we are just setting ourselves up to believe anything that can
Mhm.
be suggested to us or given to us to pass along as propaganda or a lie. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, some good points. Jess, how about you? The same question, but in the paranormal world, like um, how do you know uh, what's real and
Mm.
what could be uh, what could be explained away? Like, um, is how fine is the line when it comes to um, actual paranormal and similarities?
Um, I think that when it comes to paranormal, people need to understand that there is a lot of things that can be explained away by simple explanations, that a lot of times people will jump to a conclusion of something being paranormal or spiritual or something of that sort without looking at actual scientific evidence.
Right.
For example, um, one of the biggest misconceptions that people will get, especially if they're in a home or in an abandoned building and they're looking for something of paranormal um, grounds,
Hmm.
they'll say, "Oh, well, kind of like last night. Oh, I'm getting anxiety, or I have this really uneasy feeling," which women tend to be a bit more sensitive towards that. But it is also caused by a change in electromagnetic frequencies, which could be from, especially if you're looking at buildings and older buildings, um, it could be a reason of, you know, wiring and the electricity and stuff like that, and conduit that's throughout the building that's not connected and grounded correctly. And it is very easy for that to give you not only those uneasy feelings, but it can and will play tricks on the mind. And it's not always something that is demonic or paranormal, but it can have that same exact effect on the human brain and the human mind. So that's another reason why I kind of got out of researching the ghost aspect of things and the spirit aspect of things because of my change and things that I have come to understand.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's why I do keep the equipment that I have, and I do use it with between the backup recordings. So I'm not relying on just one set of devices to record and video.
Right.
You have something to collaborate that information with, along with the EMF readers and any other things that you can have to capture data and that information. Is it necessarily that you're looking for evidence? You're looking for data. You're looking for something to support and back up the information and your own personal feelings. Gut is great to follow, but at the same time, having something to vindicate and verify what you're feeling and what you're experiencing and the things that you could possibly be seeing too also helps, which is another reason why, things like even carbon monoxide detectors and stuff like that. There is so many environmental effects that could cause an individual to have, visions or get certain feelings or hear certain things. And it's important that people keep that in mind. And that's why one of the things, I say, keep truth in, because you're looking for the truth, but at the same time, you don't want to mislead people as well. And it's important to back up with evidence and data. Data is so important.
Right. Yeah. And it's really important to, my opinion, is to, if you're doing all this research, make sure that you cover not only the scientific part, but keep the human aspect alive, because you have to use your human ability, your senses. You have to rely on those when you're out in the woods, when you're out doing paranormal investigation in a house or building. Learn to use the equipment for your scientific ability, and then rely on your human ability. Know when these things are doing these things to you. Know when know to separate the two. Like you were saying, if you're going near something that's hot, got an electrical charge, you have to know the difference. You have to, but it's by experience. By experience, if you're just going out in the woods and you start feeling an electrical charge like you felt when you're doing a paranormal investigation in someone's home, look at the ground. Look at the ground first and foremost. Is there limestone? Is there anything that would give off a charge?
Mineral deposits.
Yeah, mineral deposits. Anything that would give off a charge. But always make sure that you keep in touch with the human side as well as the scientific side. I mean, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the two, unless you absolutely know what you're doing. Some people will do a live, and go completely one way and just like, oh yeah, I have scientific proof. Okay, where's the scientific proof? Did you chart everything? Did you use these devices? Well, no, I just went out there and I felt this. It takes more than that. It takes more than that to if you're wanting to prove something, that means you have to have evidence.
Right.
Yeah, when you feel something, feeling something is just a observation of opinion. It's based solely on that person. Because whenever you go into, even as an investigator, to a crime scene, what we try to do is remove as much of the human element as we can. There's an old saying, and I'll share it with y'all. I was taught this in my schooling. When we went to our schooling, what they done is they had just switched over to the Glock. The Glock was taken over at the time, and everybody had to have a Glock. And of course, that's what they went to on the firing range, was the Glock.
Yeah.
When they went to the Glock, a lot of people don't know this, but the passing grade of everybody dropped 10%. The Glocks, everyone said, were not accurate. And our instructor used that scenario in our class, and he said, whenever we investigate something, we have to remove as much of the human aspect as we can, because humans are emotional, we're opinionated, and just like the X-Files, we want to believe. And that can curve our judgment into making things that aren't. So just like the Glock, you go back to the Glock. Everybody said the Glock was not accurate. The instructor took the Glock and he put a bullet hole through a bullet hole, almost the whole magazine. Mm-hmm. Well, the machine is not inaccurate. It is the human aspect of it that caused that gun to not fire well, not operating it correctly. Because that any gun mostly that's going to come out of any manufacturer, doesn't matter the name, it's inherently more accurate than most humans can fire it. It's the human outside of that causes the problems. And they said your best investigators are the ones that can clear their minds. They can follow the evidence and not have an opinion of the scene as to where they want this to go. It's the worst thing you can do as an investigator, and they'll tell you, is if something happens, it comes on the news, turn off the news. Because all you're going to do is corrupt your mind if you're going to be the investigator on that case, because they're already going to plant that seed in your mind that this is what happened. And it's hard to do. It's hard to go in and just look at the facts, because a lot of times, and probably 95% of the times, the facts aren't going to take you where you want it to go. And I wonder, and Harold, I want your opinion on this. How many times does an investigator go into the field and something happens and they're filming and they see that there was an outside interference, right? Say it was a wind gust came up and all of a sudden this tree falls. How many of those investigators are going to say, we was walking through the woods and all of a sudden the tree gets pushed over? But they don't mention the wind.
Right.
99.9% of the time.
They don't mention the fact that there's something that could have explained why it fell. Even when something's pushed, it falls. So was it pushed or did it just blow over or fall from rot? Those are all possibilities that every single investigator needs to follow through with.
Got a hold of it.
But here's another aspect, though. Those of us that have had a personal encounter with, say, a Bigfoot or a Dogman, at that point, everything that I knew scientifically went out the window.
Absolutely.
Because when it's standing 2 feet away from you, the only thing you can rely on is your human instinct. And human instinct is, I'm going to defend myself no matter what. But if I move, I know I'm going to, so it's,
I even think that these creatures can put off the vibe. Like, I have a cat that runs around in here, and for some reason, this cat hates me 95% of the time. The other 5% of the time, she loves me because she wants me to feed her. But most of the time, she's trying to, attack me. And but can you not tell, though, whenever an animal comes up, you can tell a lot of times if that animal is planning on hurting you, if that animal wants to get away from you, if that animal is stalking you. And I think as an investigator, the more we're in the woods and the more that we deal with these, the more we, I'm not going to say understand, but the more we can maybe on a small scale predict what they may or may not do.
right.
Because I know a lot of times I can get a call, they can yell at me, they can scream at me, and they can whistle. I can follow them up into a point. And what I have observed is when they're tired of you following them, they go from moving away from you to starting to surround you. It goes from instead of a retreat, they're starting to take an offensive, gesture. They're preparing to do whatever they need to do to either defend themselves, their food source, or their children. And I have pushed that line a little far sometimes, and I got smacked right in the mouth for it. But yeah.
Won't do that again.
Yeah, they don't like you to threaten to spank them.
I don't know. When I was growing up, I was known as the dare taker. If somebody dared me to do something, okay.
I triple dog dare you.
That's why I tell Christy, don't dare me.
And even, I think other things too that you can look at whenever you're fielding an investigation for somebody is it's helpful to be able to visit the location as an investigator. It helps put, a lot of the puzzle together because they can say, oh man, I was coming down this road and this huge Bigfoot, I didn't see him until he come up out of the ditch. And then they show you the ditch they're talking about, and the ditch only has like a 3% decline. You're like, okay. Couldn't have been that big of a Bigfoot, because the ditch is not as big as you're saying it is, and then you start putting common sense with, because when we get scared, especially people not used to being in high stress situations, they tend to exaggerate what they see. Their fears start playing into reality, into their mind. I've had fights happen to where we would go to a fight and break up a fight, and the lady's like, oh my God, there was 20 guys on him, and they were beating him, and and all this. And then you go back and you review footage because you've arrested 3 guys, and when you look at footage, all there was 3 guys. But they will sit there and swear they saw 20 because they were scared. They were afraid for him, and their anxiety took over.
Yeah, I know it's a cartoon and it's not real, but one of my favorite scenes that I always think of whenever somebody says something like that is from Monsters, Inc. when Boo comes out of the restaurant and everybody is freaking out because it's a kid. And then there's the monster with all of those eyes. And they're like, how do you know this? I saw it with my own eyes. Well, he must be telling the truth because he's got like 50 of them. But his story was still way off. And I always think of that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter how many people see it. When your levels are spiked and you're just like, yeah, adrenaline's going and you think you're seeing stuff and saw it with my own eyes.
Oh yeah. Speaking of sight,
sight and night.
I think I mentioned that I'd gotten the night vision. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Christy got me.
We surprised him with that.
I've been missing the night vision because I hate filming in the dark.
Does it look anything like this?
Yep.
The same.
Yep.
Exactly
Yep.
the same. That's
I
funny.
really like it. Another thing you'll find when using that is if you go to the regular camera without using the IR on that,
Yeah.
it has such a sensitive camera on it that you can take night photos that are absolutely amazing in low light conditions without the IR. So it's amazing. I like mine.
Yeah. I had one for a while, and oh man, it took such amazing videos and pictures, and it even had sound. And man, I was planning on going down to Talahina with it and all that, and I pull it out of my bag, crunched.
Oh no.
Yeah, the screen was
Mine does not have sound. Mine does not have sound. It does not record sound.
Well, this one says it records video, but I don't think it records sound either. But of course,
nothing.
The one that I had that recorded sound costed a lot more. But
oh yeah, that's what I looked at too. I was like, no. I will do it. I will do a voiceover if I have to help people understand what I'm talking about.
Today,
how it's made. And then that's what the little micro recorder's good for too. You can sync it with the video if you have to. You know.
Sorry.
Yep.
One of those.
Yep, one of them.
Sorry, I had to do the voiceover. Today on How It's Made.
We tore apart a calculator and made a little car. I used to watch that.
Anybody in the chat, have you ever seen that show? It is an amazing show. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it used to come on Sunday mornings and I would watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to watch it all the time on the Science Channel. That and Dirty
that's
Jobs
what I watched.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got a new series coming out, too.
That's sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's still finding work.
There's
a rumor
channel. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm lagging. I'm behind y'all about 3 seconds. So go ahead. I try to read y'all's lips so I don't walk on nobody.
There's a spoof channel that takes the old videos for How It's Made, and he does a voiceover on them, and it's absolutely hilarious the way he does it. It's like there's a hot dog, how they make hot dogs, and he's like, look at all that nasty stuff. What is that? And like, it's just stuff that you're thinking, but not normally would come out in a TV show. And he's only just saying what everybody is thinking in there. And I would look it up. And if you need a really good laugh, look up whoever, I don't know who it does it. Every once in a while, he'll pop up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I'll just watch it.
A lot of people make fun of me for eating chorizo, because they'll read on the chorizo and it'll say that it's got lymph nodes in it. They're like, "Ew, you're eating that?" I'm like, "Yeah,
it's delicious."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Mix it with some eggs, a little bit of toast.
No, ma'am,
it's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what chorizo. Do I want to know what that is?
It makes like the best burrito ever.
Oh yeah.
It's up there, Caps.
Oh yeah. I always liked having eggs and chorizo.
Yeah. Good cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Spam. I don't know if y'all like spam, but I love spam.
We weren't.
No, I was going to say if you need to try the bacon. You need to try the bacon spam. That's my favorite now.
Yeah.
When we lived out in the mountains in California for a year, it was spam and potted meat.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff. I love it. I still eat it.
I love potted meat, but I just can't stomach spam anymore for some reason.
So gross.
I mean, it was good, especially
Ugh.
when you fry it up and you add cheese.
I'll tell
but-
you.
I like hillbilly spaghetti.
Hmm.
It's really good, but it's hard to stab those little things in the dark without a good light. But it's pretty good.
Oh Lord.
Oh, what did I just get myself into?
I ask myself that question every day.
You see, we used to take, the potted meat, and of course you have your bread, spread the potted meat on, and I always would do like mix mustard in it or whatever, and then you slap a piece of cheese on it, and if you have a campfire, you have to have an iron skillet, so cook those things in an iron skillet on a campfire. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Pudgy pies.
Yeah, but
I used to love making pudgy pies.
oh yeah,
I can't wait to go camping again.
I think Canadians eat a lot of those too.
yeah,
Well, there's
I think they're pretty
Canadian
popular in
theater.
Canada.
Pudgy
Yeah.
pies?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I noticed on a lot of the outdoor channels I watch in Canada, they eat those a lot.
hmm
You could put anything in a pudgy pie. I mean,
You are pretty close. You are pretty close to that line.
Yeah, I know.
I will talk to you guys later. It was fun hanging out with y'all.
Night.
Hey, it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too,
The
Mike.
boss, the boss must be back.
Yes,
the boss is back.
the boss is back, baby.
And one thing I always like taking out when I go camping is cans of corned beef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are you? Okay, I missed a whole bunch. I'm sorry, y'all.
Mhm.
And I like that beef Armour stew. The Armour brand. God, I love that stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's cold
What's the
outside.
stuff that I never ate it, but my parents used to cook it all the time? Like hash? Like it was like almost like potatoes and meat. They'd cook it on a skillet when they were camping. Is that what that's called? Hash?
Corned beef
I
hash.
don't know.
Yeah, corned beef hash.
Is that what that is? Corned beef hash? Okay.
Mhm.
I never ate any, but I know it smelled really good, but I never had any of that
Yeah, it's
stuff.
got corned beef and then potato in it. It's all mashed up.
Yeah. Yeah, they would make that
My-
every day. Every day we would go camping. They would make that.
Anything that's got corn in it's got to be good.
Not everything.
Not everything.
Before
body-
processing.
My body disagrees with that.
Remember, we don't buy corn; we just borrow it.
Mhm.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Short-term loans. Yeah.
Yeah. The food that keeps on giving.
So, I hate the cops in Crescent. No, I did not get pulled over, but they did pull someone over when I was sitting there waiting for Cammie.
Oh yeah.
Be careful. They're probably watching. Now they're going to have their sights set on you next time.
Oh,
Yeah. Anybody that wants to travel through Crescent, Oklahoma,
better not speed
go the speed limit.
and stop at the 4-way,
Yeah.
or they will nail you.
Yep.
No
Just saying.
California rolls.
No count and no.
Yep. Complete stop and go.
I feel bad for the minivan that they did pull over though, right in front of the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You must have a lot of young officers in your town.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how old they are, but you cannot
Trying
pay
to
me
make
enough to be
Trying to make a name.
I can't. Well, I could give them a name, but it's not YouTube worthy.
You're not
But-
trying to shut
Yeah.
your channel down. You're trying to grow your channel, Christy.
Right,
Not get it
and
shut
that's
down.
why I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. We support law enforcement.
We do, but
Whatever we're discussing on here is for entertainment purposes only.
anyway.
Obey the law, people.
And if you don't,
See,
don't
Amber,
get caught.
I agree with Amber. Corn dogs are delicious. I love, I don't know if you guys have Aldi's down there, but
Yes.
Aldi's here, they actually sell chicken corn dogs. And they're minis. They're mini chicken. No, they do the mini chicken corn dogs and then the regular corn dogs on a stick. I love, and I put them in my toaster oven so it gets all nice and crispy right around the edge. Oh, yeah, I could tear me up
it's
some
not
corn
all
dogs.
it's not all chicken, right?
It's all chicken. Shut your face. It says all
Okay.
chicken.
If that makes you sleep better at night.
It says
I
it's
used
chicken.
to work for Pillsbury.
Shush.
I used to work for Pillsbury, and
All right.
I can tell you that
I'm gonna leave.
there is
Just
a lot
come
more
back.
stuff in Pillsbury products than what the label says.
You know what? I cannot accept that. I'm not giving that place. No.
But honestly, whenever I used to work there, the USDA would come in and they would inspect us. And did you know that there is a certain percentage, as they call it, that they allow bugs into the food?
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to have so many bugs in the food, and it will pass. You're allowed a certain percentage, spiders, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they allow it a pretty large percentage in school foods because they say it's nutritional value. Yeah.
Have you had your grasshopper this morning?
That's why they made us read chocolate covered worms in school.
Here, I'm just gonna do this. Oh, I better turn this down, or am I gonna get backlash? Oh, stop it! What the heck?
I remember everybody likes school pizza, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it!
I remember going to lunch one time and everybody at my table's eating the school pizza and I peel up the cheese and it's like, oh, it's a cockroach. Yeah, sure enough, it was a big old.
Stop it!
Then all the kids are. Then all the kids start laughing at you because they think it's funny. So, like the bully across the room, he's laughing, and everybody looks at him, and he's got like half a cockroach on his teeth.
How is it that I walk in and you guys are talking about bugs now?
And then instead of the teachers getting up to take control of the chaos, they're sitting at their table spewing out milk because they're laughing.
Oh, yeah. The one thing in food that I cannot hardly handle, like if I find a bug in my food at a restaurant or something, yeah, it's nasty to me, but it's not something that like ends my meal. The one thing that really bothers me is hair. To like take a bite of food, have a hair in your mouth, and you like pull the hair and it keeps coming out. There's like food hanging from it.
Stop!
That's what I cannot handle.
That's how my daughter is too.
You take the bun off the burger and you see curly hairs.
Stop it, baby! Oh my God, guys!
And then you see the cook in the kitchen like this, and he's got like hair all under his arms. Another burger. Yeah. I've seen some cooks before. I've went into restaurants and I've questioned eating my food because sometimes the cooks look bad.
Wasn't that Road Trip back in the day.
Yeah.
With where they stopped at like the breakfast place, and it was so
I'm the
gross.
cook and
I'm
the
not even gonna
janitor.
go there.
As soon as I get this bathroom knocked out, dude, I'll get your burrito done.
Stop it. Oh my goodness.
You know, and my
hang
daughter
out with my
wonders,
children.
and my daughter wonders why if I go into a restaurant and like instantly I get a bad vibe or they're rude or they're snippy, I'll just be like, you know what, never mind, and I'll leave. And she'll go, why? I just wanted food. No, I don't. I can't. I don't trust them. I can't do it. You never know what's gonna end up in your food afterwards. Oh no, they can't do that. That's okay. I'll
Mhm.
pass.
So in other words,
Could I get
Jess, you come to the Mexican restaurant where Cammy works. Don't piss her off. No.
Hey,
could I get an order
I
of fries
worked-
and hold the curly hairs?
I worked in a restaurant for many years, and I refuse to give people a hard time when it comes to that. And I give my waitresses tips, and I always give cash tips. If I'm paying with a card, I give cash tips because I know there's a difference in claiming and all that stuff. But when they say, "Oh, they can't do certain things," or it's illegal to do that yes, you can't do that at a restaurant, but it doesn't mean that stuff don't go on in the back kitchen.
Oh, I know.
I guarantee you it does.
I doubt it.
I did security for, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant, but a few of the restaurants because they were having fights outside. And I would walk through the kitchen area every now and then, just, walking around, messing around. And whenever I would walk back there, these kids would be cutting up pickles for the burgers. And they have these huge plastic bins full of pickles. And they're like elbow deep in the pickle juice, pulling out these pickles, and they're cutting them up. And I'm like, and this other kid's like, hey, you could do this. And he sticks his hands in the mustard, then fries his fingers in the fry oil. And it didn't even hurt, And then you look over here on the meat burner, and they've got like one side of the meat cooked. And I'm like, y'all's got all them burgers that people ordered that many? They're like, no, dude. We cook one side, so when somebody orders, all we got to do is cook the other side, and we can get the burgers out faster. It's like, oh my God. Would you like a burger? No. Good. Hold the pickles. I mean, they were like almost swimming in the pickle juice. I mean, it was like bobbing for pickles. And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching this one YouTube video. Was it yesterday? Yeah, where this guy takes a McDonald's hamburger, right, a cheeseburger, and he puts it in a bowl and he pours Coke in it, right, leaves it for 24 hours, and when he lifts up the burger, it's a gummy burger.
Oh my God.
Gummy burger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, supposedly, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly when you leave a McDonald's ham or cheeseburger in Coke for 24 hours, it turns into a gummy burger.
I don't want to try.
Yeah, again, other things that I have a hard time believing on the internet. Kind of like, have you seen the stuff where they stick a piece of coal in peanut butter and they're like, oh yeah, we'll pull it out and it'll be this crystal. I'm like, anybody that actually believes that and tries that,
Yeah.
I got a bridge for you too.
I've seen a lot of things happen back there that shouldn't have happened. Like, I don't know, the kids would like spit in the oil and watch it sizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the manager's like 18 years old. He acts about 14. And they're sitting there, serving everybody their food. It's like, what? Plop, hits the floor, up 3-second rule, boom, and yeah, I had a hard time eating there after that.
Yeah. I used to be maintenance man for an Arby's when I was about 18, 19 years old.
It's been a hot minute.
I mean, can you imagine you take grandma to Sonic and grandma's sitting there, not saying Sonic did this, just as a example. And you're sitting there eating, and grandma's got like a cheese coney, and she looks at you and goes, "That cheese coney was really good, but when did Sonic start serving corn?"
I came home to this.
Poor grandma. Grandma always is the one who gets it.
Yeah, see, I had to clean the fryers when I first started working at Arby's, right? Can you imagine the things that I found in the fryer?
Hush.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. I told everybody, and Harold probably knows since he worked at a place doing that, nothing smells worse than a grease trap at a restaurant. Nothing.
Even the thought of it brings back a memories of that. It makes me want to throw up.
And then when you have to clean it several times a day, that smell sticks with you because it gets embedded in your clothes. And it's like,
yeah,
even when you go home and take a shower, it's like you still smell it because it just, it just penetrates into your skin and your pores.
A cotton tea bag? Question mark.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Whenever I worked at the mall doing security, they had what they called there was a little girl that ran around in there that they everybody would see her. She was like a little demon, man, but she would trick a lot of the guards. She would start out nice and playful, and she would laugh, and she would run around, and at first, people thought it was cool. But as they would work there, and she would get mischievous, she'd start like setting off the alarms, and the little pamphlets that are on the kiosks, she would knock all those off up and down the hallways. And the next day you end up getting in trouble because they're like, "Why did you walk through and do that?" And you're like, "I didn't." Well, at closing, it wasn't like that, and they would end up getting in trouble because of stuff that she would, that she would do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, them empty buildings at night that are busy, like malls and places, they might close and shut the doors, but I'm telling you, the activity inside there, it don't stop. You can still hear cash registers at night, laughing, sales going on, doors shutting, toilets flushing, music,
Children
you can hear. Yeah, it just continues.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, before I started working at Arby's, I had a job at both malls down in Corpus Christi, Texas. Janitor work at night. Yeah, the things that you see and hear, most people wouldn't want to go back into the mall if they witnessed what I saw and heard. So I tried to keep it hush hush outside of work, especially working around the objects to art store. Oh.
Speaking of, I had just discovered something about our local mall a couple of weeks ago, probably. I was reading an article, and it was talking about what was on site at this location at the moment. And so I started reading into it, and turns out, because I had asked my mom years ago, because when I worked at the mall, there were weird things that would go on. So when Boston store closed and Yonkers Yonkers, because we had a Yonkers and a Boston store. When Yonkers closed, Boston store actually moved their home goods section over to the Yonkers building, which was, it was huge. It was a dual level store. And because I was working in that department, I ended up going over there. And there were weird things that would happen because our staff was very minimal. So we'd probably have maybe 4 employees working in this giant dual floor store that only had goods on like one very end half of this building.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you'd go to take your break and you'd walk upstairs and you'd go down this long corridor into the break room and you'd be sitting there and you'd be hearing doors and stuff closing and you'd be walking around and just strange things going on. And they would say, oh, it's the pipes and this and that. Okay. And when I left there, and I'd asked my mom, I says, what was there prior to the mall being built? And she's like, oh, it was all farmland. Okay, farmland. Weird. No, come to find out, it was the original site of the city's insane asylum. I'm like,
That would be
now that explains it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the old hospital in Guthrie. They it had been abandoned for years, like really abandoned, and it's actually haunted. But now they made it into like an assisted living, like older people's residence.
Yeah.
And so I really would really like to know what goes on in some of those apartments or the whatever you call them, but the rooms that, yeah. If you even ask the kids when we lived over there by the old hospital, you ask the kids because they'd walk by it and they'd go, "Mom."
Yeah.
The feeling that you get, even if you're just walking by it, you can tell that there was something really not good in that place. So, I mean, even if you drive by it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, just going to say, up northeast of here, we have an old penitentiary that was for the criminally insane, and they have closed half of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like two-story buildings, and they were pink. They still are. And they still have the old wheelchairs in there, the old beds, and all the old doctor tools. It's all there, like a freaking scary movie. I spoke to a officer. I'm trying to get in there to film it, and he said it's very, very, very haunted. There's a guy that broke out, and I actually know the girl. It was her uncle, and he climbed to the top of these two-story buildings are huge. He climbed to the roof, had his sheet, tied it around him, and said he was Superman, and jumped and killed himself. And they have a cemetery on site to where people would dump off their loved ones that were criminally insane and would never come back and get them. They buried the bodies out in this cemetery that nobody would claim. They're called unclaimed bodies. Yeah. So they would bury them out there. They don't even have numbers on their graves. They're not marked with headstones or nothing. They have one sign at the gate, one sign, and it says, "Please protect our residents that are in their eternal sleep."
Wow.
It's an eerie place.
Jess, I think we need to go look at that, man. Let's go. Let's take a trip.
See, the scarier it is, the more I want to go to it, because I'm into.
You know what I would like? I want to do this so bad. I want to stay at the Crescent Moon Hotel. That's on my bucket list. Definitely something I have to do.
We want to go to the Stone Lion Inn.
Yeah.
So y'all have to tell me. I want to go. Y'all have been there. You all have been to one of my bucket places. So y'all can probably tell me this, if this is true or not.
Okay.
The parallel forest. Oh. I have been told in the center of the forest there is a bonfire spot. Is that true?
Well, there's a spot. It's not in the center of the forest. It's actually on the outside of the forest, on the outskirts. There's the whole place is like a maze, right? You've got trails going this way. They all cross. Almost all the trees are in perfect alignment. So any direction you look, they're all in a line, right? But along with the space in between the trees, you have the trails. Well, when you get into the parallel forest, the trails make a maze. So you walk around in circles and circles and circles and circles, and you think you're getting somewhere, but you're not. You just get into the center of the forest. The thing that throws people off is they're told that there's something in the center. There's nothing in the center. It's off. It's on the outskirts, on the northeast side. You keep going through, and once you go straight through, and once you get there, you'll come across an old rock churn. Okay, this rock churn was built by the Spaniards, and there's like 4 of them out in the refuge, but this one is specifically used as a ritual site for satanic worshipers. Yeah,
that's exactly what I heard.
Yeah, so it said. Now, you go there, and there's markings. There's a pentagram. There's 666 on it. There's evidence that there's burnt candles and everything. Well, I had a Facebook friend that took pictures, and she posted it on Facebook. Well, I examined that picture, and I sent a blown up version of it back to her, and there's an it on one side, and then there's what looked to be a Bigfoot on the other. Right? The it is watching the person that's taking the picture, and the Bigfoot is watching the it. And
yeah. The reason I'm asking you that, I don't know if you've looked into this, but here's my second question that I've wondered. Now, I have heard that what you're talking about, that fireplace, or some people even call it I went blank. It'll come to me. Is there or do you know, does it represent or somewhat represent I'm trying to not get your channel in trouble, the bonfire areas that the Girl Scouts may or may not use?
No. Those are completely separate from that area. The only picnic area of any sort, any camping area of any sort, is off to the south.
Okay. No, I mean, like the actual the fire pit. Do they resemble each other? Is there a resemblance?
No.
Okay.
No, the fire pit is just, it's a big round piece of metal that's in the ground. This thing is made out of brick. The rock churn is made out of brick, and it stands up out of the ground, and it has a flat surface inside of a little brick wall that goes around it. There's a flat surface where they would pour buckets of rock in there, and then they would have a horse or a donkey with another rock, a heavy rock that would be hung by a rope, and they would tie that horse or donkey up to this, and it would walk around it, and then that larger boulder would crush all the smaller ones as their way of looking for gems and gold. So it was made completely out of brick. So there's no way it could have been used for anything but that, unless you were illegally camping there and you tried to start a fire, which I have seen in some of the other churns. there's evidence of somebody building a fire, but they're not supposed to be there.
Right. So I heard it's
the
really
other
easy.
the other churns are located in areas that are way off trail. So,
because I've heard you can get lost in there really easy, and a lot of people do get lost in there. It's like a real common occurrence.
Yeah, if you don't know your sense of direction, because you can easily lose your sense of direction in there if you're not really good at it, because everything looks the same once you're in the actual forest. It's not that big of an area, but the trails leading into it and out of it will take you a long ways away, and you can get lost that way, because if you go in behind Mount Scott, you're going into a restricted area, and there's no trails back there except for the trails that the animals make.
Right.
And it's thick woods.
I had something I want to share with you and Christy. I know y'all are in Oklahoma also, and living in Oklahoma, it makes us wonder, what makes Oklahoma unique and what makes Oklahoma a hot spot. And I've been looking deep into that. So I found something I want to share with y'all, and maybe you all can look into it also and find answers that I may miss. But it's very, very interesting. And I know y'all are going to find this interesting. Oklahoma is a hot spot. We know that. And what I was wondering the other day is what makes it a hot spot. We know it's huge for native activity. Oklahoma, was one of the states that the Trail of Tears went actually pretty much ended at. So one of the things I wanted to tell y'all that I found out, we have what they call the Great Salt Plains. It's the only place like it. There is no other place like that in Oklahoma. And another thing I found out that was really, really interesting to me, not only is that the only place like that, but you can actually go there and you can dig crystals for free. That's the only place that you can find these crystals is in that spot. Well, they have now found out. I have a friend that works in the electric field, and they have now found out that whenever they ran their electric lines across that they were getting high spikes of electricity, blowing people's ice boxes up. Something was increasing. Well, no, it was beside it. So they went through it. So whenever they went through it, when they went to this other town, they had to go through the salt plains. He said they were pushing more energy through there than they have anywhere, but they could not get enough energy through the salt plains. So they done an investigation and they dug up the crystals out there, and this is what they found. And then you guys, I think, will find this interesting. The crystals in the Oklahoma salt plains have energy to them, but the weird thing is the energy that comes off of them is a negative energy. And in the electrical field, he said you have positive and negative. Negative is hardly ever found in the environment. Negative, he said, is usually found in the atmosphere. So for these rocks to harness a negative energy is very, very rare. And he said it's so rare that they're actually trying to figure out why do they hold, negative energy. So he said, if you ever go out there, he said, I'd probably think twice about taking one of those crystals home with me.
Right. And I think digging season out there starts next month. But yeah, I wouldn't take one of those home with me. I heard a little bit about that negative energy out there.
It's on our bucket list, though.
Yeah, I want to go there, but I'm not taking no crystals home.
I do too, because they allow you to sandhill crane hunt there. That's why I wanted to go. It's the ribeye of the sky, Christy.
Sure.
She'll just stick with her Jiffy Pop.
Yeah. It don't go moo. It goes but it still tastes the same.
As long as it's not doing that on the plate.
Yeah. My dad used to make fun of me because we would go to a restaurant and Dad would always order a steak. I'd order a steak, and they'd ask my dad, how do you want your steak? And Dad was like, medium rare. They'd look at me and, how do you want your steak? Well done. Dad would be like, oh, you're ruining that steak. You're ruining that steak.
Thank you,
I
Dad.
was like, Dad,
because yes,
no. I
yes.
was like, Dad, your steak is ruining my steak because I can't hardly keep it down watching you eat that.
Okay, Jess, how do you like your steak?
I don't eat steak.
Oh no!
I don't eat steak. I don't
That's
eat
what
red
I
meat.
said. I was like, oh no. When she told me that too, I was like, you have no idea what you're missing.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Except
do.
Unless she was eating.
I can't hold that
Unless she was-
against you. I understand, but
Unless she was eating it with my dad. Then my dad's taking these biscuits, sopping up the red juice in his plate. And I'm like, no.
No.
but yet
No.
you'll eat a bug.
Who? Me?
No, Graham.
Well, I mean, if it's ground up and processed into my food and cooked well, as long as it's well done, I'm fine. I just don't want a medium rare bug.
I don't know. Have you ever had a worm sandwich?
No, I've never done that.
I did.
You did that?
Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
God.
And yet I kiss those lips. Ew.
Things I get dared to do.
I remember in school there was a book that our teacher read to us about a boy that I think had to eat so many worms within so long or something. It was a dare or something.
Mm-hmm.
I remember her reading that book to us. But there was a book, and this is funny. I'm not a book reader. I don't read that much. Never did like to read. I was one of those that in school, the teacher would make you read out loud. What was that? The 12 Angry Jurors we had to do or whatever. 12 Angry Men. We had to do that every year. And I hated that, reading out loud. But there was one book that she actually read to us that I never forgot. And the name of the book was called The Most Dangerous Game. There's also a movie made after it now. And that is a really good one.
You've ever eaten a grasshopper before?
And of course, the book I'm writing.
Wasn't that the story about the hunter who actually invited people out to his property and actually hunted them?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Is that the most dangerous game? Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, she read that to me in middle school, which was probably like 8 years ago. So it hasn't been that long.
Okay, you better watch out, Pinocchio.
Connor asked me if I'd eaten fried grasshopper. I'm like,
grasshoppers.
Yeah. Actually did in kindergarten. We had what they called Oriental Day. Oriental Week actually. And every morning we would have a full decked out entree, a whole tables full of different foods from different areas of Asia, and they had fried grasshoppers, they had chocolate covered grasshoppers, they had
crickets.
Yeah, crickets, ants, you name it. I tried them all. I liked the grasshopper, the chocolate covered. The fried grasshopper was good. The crickets were good. Scorpion was good.
I don't know. I mean, if I were to ever do the show alone and had to eat it, maybe to survive, but just to think about it.
So what about crawfish? You like crawfish?
Creek monsters? No.
I love them.
We never used to eat the what we call crawdads. We never used to eat them. We would just catch them and use them for bait.
I heard
them things. They are delicious. I love those things. But I said I'm not going to eat them again until Hunter comes home. Logan, he made me make a deal because him and Hunter always every year we would do a crawfish boil, and we was going to do it this year to keep the tradition. And Logan said, "Nope, not until Hunter comes home." So
I have a question for you, AI Mike.
I might have an answer.
Okay. So I follow these. I follow Arms Family Homestead on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was just
Uh-huh.
wondering if you follow them as well.
I do, and I talked to him.
Yes, I've met him. I've met Daniel.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is
Awesome.
an amazing. Him and Houston and DJ. I've met them all. They
Yep.
are amazing people, and I follow them. And
He's a retired state trooper.
yes, he is.
Yep.
And so his buddy Dutch, who lives up by you somewhere, I think.
Yes, he does.
Yep. So I follow him as well. And
Eddie Family Farms. Do you follow them?
which one?
Eddie Family Farm.
I don't know if I follow him, but I know of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 30 miles from me.
Oh, really? So yeah. I've been following him for years. I don't know how many years, probably 4, I think. I mean, Houston was little when I started following him. But
fishing that little creek.
Yeah, the catch, clean, and cook. And the other day when you said it, I was like, I bet he follows him, because that's the only person I know that knows that saying is catch, clean, and cook is Daniel. Yeah. And I was like, I have to ask Mike.
They are genuine people. I really like them.
Awesome people.
Even Eddie, you would like Eddie. Eddie is a deputy sheriff. He's a really good one. He's still working though. And then what's that?
Is it a friend of Daniel's? I think he hasn't been on his show. I think
Yep, they're all friends. Actually, coming up, I don't. Is it this weekend or next? They're having the big Homestead Expo here in Oklahoma, Pryor, Oklahoma.
Yep, I think it's coming up here soon. I would love to go up there because, like I said, I've met him before, but I don't think I'll be able to get up there. But anyway,
it's only 30 miles from me to go to Pryor to the. So I've thought about going. The tickets went up a little bit this year. They're $25 a day, or you can get a $50 2-day pass. But yeah, I thought about going up there also.
Yeah, a couple of years ago they did the Oklahoma Okie noodling contest. They were there, and that's where we met them. We actually went there to meet them at the noodling contest, the Oklahoma noodling. Yeah, I mean, Cammy's met him, Connor's met him. We all met him.
So, do you and Harold, do you all hunt and fish a lot too? Do you all do a lot of that?
He wants to.
I haven't been able to do my absolute favorite thing in the world is to go fishing. I haven't been able to do that in almost 30 years.
I love fishing. That is the best thing.
It was one of the
that hurts my heart.
It's
when think about not fishing in 30 years. Oh my gosh.
When his mom was alive, we promised her to take her fishing, and she ended up passing away before we could actually get him to move up here and take her fishing. And so the promise is to go fishing in Mom's memory those years. So we're gonna do it. So
where are y'all gonna fish?
Anywhere.
Go to the river or
anywhere.
I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to fish the Red River.
Oh, that's way down south.
You know, though,
which way you go.
I live right now. I live about 4 miles from the Verdigris River.
Okay.
And probably about 5 miles from the lake. So
we live a mile and a half away from Cimarron.
Yeah.
The Cimarron River?
Yeah, y'all should.
Yeah, it's a mile and a half south of my house.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all should go fishing.
Yeah, but getting to the river from the road that I live off of would be like going down Mount Scott.
Oh wow!
It's like this. It's like yeah.
You know, I remember as a kid. You know, growing up as a kid, we had a lot more fishing spots then than we do now. You know, like Grandpa and them, they could load you up and there'd be a trail where everybody would walk and go fishing. But as we went into this generation, nobody does that. So it's all grown up and there's nowhere to go. And if there is a place to go, everybody parties there and they throw needles down and beer cans. And,
and you name it.
Yeah, they're not there to fish. They're there to party.
Yeah.
Well, we live 20 minutes from Guthrie, so Guthrie Lake and Liberty Lake, and then we're about a half hour, 45 minutes from Lake Arcadia, or Lake Hefner. We're about a half hour from Lake Hefner. So, there's plenty of places to go fishing. It's just going fishing.
I'm going fishing.
Fishing is very addictive.
Actually, we're
me.
going catching.
That's it. Harvesting. You're going to harvest some meat.
We're going catching, as DJ Arms would put it. She doesn't fish, she catches.
Yeah. Boy, they're building a pond, aren't they? My God.
Yes, they are. So if nobody knows who we're talking about, go check out Arms Family Homestead on YouTube. They are some amazing people. You will love their channel.
Very good people. Very good family channel.
I'm going to plug them. Hopefully one day they'll see it on here, because that'd be amazing. And they'll like our channel too. Hey, did you? Okay, it's cryptid related. Did you see the episode where they were doing the controlled burn on their land, and their son Weston was walking through the woods, and someone thought it was a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot? Did you?
I've heard about that. I haven't seen it, but I did hear that happen because he brought it up.
Yes, he did. I so want to actually see if he'll let us go there and investigate, because I bet you bottom dollar that he's got something on his land. I bet you bottom dollar he does. But
I
anyway.
bet he does.
Wouldn't that be cool?
There's so many places I would like to visit, to go investigate, but it's finding the time and the means and
the money,
the equipment, the money, and the price of motels right now.
Did you show him your present that I bought you? Oh man, I wasn't here. Sure, show him when I'm not here. Cool. Okay.
I told him he's going to really like it too. I've got one just like it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I use.
Cool.
Yeah, they're really good. They surprise you. I mean, it surprised me. It surprised me. I thought, when I bought it, I was like, okay, well, and I took it out of the box one night and I turned it on and I was like, wow, this is nice.
Yeah. I like the range that it has on it. It's it says 75 meters. 75 meters.
I think
in the daylight.
I think they're further than that. Yeah, I think they go further than that, because in the darkness when I'm down there, whenever I shine mine out, there's one point to where I look across this area and it's a good 200 yards and I can see the tree line, the trees, and inside the trees with it. So I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah.
It works really well.
The last one I had, I could see about that far. So I'm hoping this one is comparable to it. I'm like I said, the last one I had it costed a little bit more. So having the volume on it and everything, the picks up sound, that I got spoiled by that, but I never did make any videos on it that I posted, except for one video I posted with that. But this one, I'm definitely planning on, because especially as dark as it gets out here. Yeah.
Right. Well, if we get to do, I don't know for sure yet, but this fall, if we get to do a Squatch camp or whatever, I'll show you and Christy a spot that is a good spot. You can go down and play around. Pretty good chance you're going to get an encounter. It usually does not let me down, so it's a really good spot.
Oh yeah.
So are you still planning on having that?
I would like to, if I could get everything together to be able to do it, but I don't. I've got so many things going on right now, and court. I got a lot of court fixing to start again. I'm fixing to do some things, and it's just it's hard to plan out that far right now, not knowing what I'm gonna, I would love to. I think it would be fun. We could all share stories, encounters, and everybody
Right.
could kind of hang out and, you know,
Finally get to meet
I
you.
would love to be able. Yeah, I would love to be able to do it. It would be fun, no doubt. But just dealing with this drama, it makes it hard to go out. You know, that would be a long time away to make, you know, and I don't want to make no plans and then something come up or have to cancel it or something like that.
Well, if it can't
You
be
know.
done right away, and then it can be done sooner rather than later. I mean, you know, sooner doesn't mean tomorrow. It just means as soon as possible. You know, so whenever.
Kind of like what Jesus said, I guess, when he said soon. Soon is not tomorrow or next week, but soon is
Right.
when everything is prepared.
Yep.
And we'll
When
just
everything
blame
falls
Jesse if
into
it don't work
place,
out.
when everything falls into place, that's when it shall be done.
That's it.
Yep.
I definitely believe there's a plan and his will be done. So
Most definitely.
Well, you guys.
Oh, cool. Sorry. Sharon Guy just subscribed to Arm's family.
Oh yeah. You posted it.
I did. Sorry. I plugged him. I posted his link. Hopefully he gets some
I know what she's going to be watching.
coming back.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mom every night after she eats her dinner, she comes in and she has her shows that she watches, and one of them is Arms, the other one's Eddie Family Farm. She likes to watch. I think it's called Keeping Up with the Walkers. They're in Oklahoma, and Dutch. She likes to watch those, and they're all friends. You know, they all camp together, hunt together, and they have. I think Arms, Daniel said the other day that he's almost to hit 1 million subscribers.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, they just built they didn't build, but they bought a lake house now that they're totally redoing.
Or Airbnb.
Yeah.
Must
be nice, huh?
So hopefully, maybe, like to rent it. But yeah, it's not too far from, is it Texoma? I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah. Like down the road from it or something. Anyway.
Mike, you were talking about how you would really love to visit the parallel forest, right? Believe it or not, the parallel forest is awesome, right? But believe it or not, if you go back into Sharon Garden area out there in that refuge, that's where we filmed the X, the picture that's in the background on here. That was just right in the entrance. Now, go back there. They have an area where people do rock climbing and all this.
Oh, wow.
There's been several Bigfoot seen back there, crouching behind bushes, watching these people rock climb. They hide back in behind the bushes, and they watch these people at night do the rock climbing, and it's right in the middle of a creek that runs through there, and it's really hard to navigate that creek walking through there. They have the easy route where you go from like the Boulder campground area. That's the easy route. You're more apt to see something if you take the harder route, which is going all the way around the backside of Elk Mountain. And Elk Mountain in itself is
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. You if you go up there when the storms are if there's a storm coming through, if it's just starting to form and those clouds come up over that mountain, you literally feel like you're walking on top of the clouds, and you can.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like how high up in the air am I? and then there's caves all around Elk Mountain. Um, there's there's a place they call the Narrows, which goes on back behind Sharon Garden. So Sharon Garden has so many different trails that were made by the CCC. Then there's the game trails. If you get back in there and you follow the game trails, there's 2 creeks that run through there. They're most of the time they're dry, and that's where me and Jimmy from Jimmy's Cryptid Quest, I took him and his dad back there, and we found 4 or 5 different footprints in the sand alone.
Wow.
And then just up over that creek, it's like a cliff where if you stood up on top of that, you'd be looking down at the creek. Well, just on the other side of that is where people have spotted the hairy man running through there, just at the base of Elk Mountain. The hairy man was spotted in 1966. That was the first sighting out there, documented sighting. He was coming down off of the backside of Elk Mountain, and his 2 boys spotted him. Well, then they spotted him up on top of the mountain, and they collected his feces. But that same hairy man has been spotted since then. So no telling how old the thing is, but people are saying that it's either him or a much older offspring of his. So that's what
it's so interesting.
Yeah,
You just need to
It makes you wonder. Yeah, I'm going to have to as soon as I can get everything. You know, what's interesting to me is what happened in the 50s and 60s that amped up these encounters. Because if you look at the 50s and 60s, that's when you really start seeing a lot of these encounters. You know, I've always wondered what happened. I mean, we know the Indians and stuff back earlier, they had their encounters, but it wasn't spoke about. But you get up to the 50s and the 60s, everybody started having encounters. Everybody. So it makes you wonder
Nuclear power?
what really. I don't know. Nuclear power, you know, the government got a hold of some of the ones that were rare back in the days of the Indians, and they started doing their little projects in their labs and releasing them, and couldn't control them. And you know, it makes you wonder what really happened. Vietnam.
I wonder if it. I honestly wonder if it started back with Roswell. Honestly, I mean, between the nuclear testing and the increase of UFOs, and then it just spawned from there. I mean, they're all connected. How many times do we say that? There's a connection between them all. And that's when everything seemed to start gradually spiking after World War II.
I tell you what I'd like to do is I would like to go back and talk to those shaman again and get their take on what was the population of these creatures during that time, and see how prevalent they were. And because I wish that they would have done, you know, written notes, but it just wasn't that common among the nations. You know, the native people, they kept everything verbal stories, because people would come and steal their things, and they always said that, you know, the white man can't steal our words. So the important things they left as knowledge and in the word. So kind of can't blame them in a way. I mean, they had it hard.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. One other place I want to go visit. It's just west of here. It's actually, you know, up towards the Panhandle. I don't know if you ever heard of the area where they there's supposedly, I mean, I've seen it in documentary, but there's a rock that has a petroglyph on it of um, they say that it's Egyptian origin.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's in line with the setting of the sun on the eternal equinox. Yeah,
And we also have a rock somewhere in Oklahoma. I'm not sure exactly where it has Viking
hmm
writing on it. They believe the Vikings might have landed here way earlier than what they first initially thought.
right.
Why
Yeah,
Oklahoma? What's in Oklahoma?
yeah. There's something about Oklahoma. I mean, it's more and more things are getting to be uncovered that uh, modern people have no idea of what's out there. I mean, the indigenous people, they do. The modern ones, they do to a point, but there's so much stuff out there from different cultures that have passed throughout the ages. Like you said, the Vikings, and then the Egyptians possibly coming up through the
Yeah.
waters. Being able to travel all the way by boat.
Amber says it's the rune stone. She says,
Yeah, the
I've seen
runestone.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
much lost knowledge, that has been
Mhm.
lost.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
think that Oklahoma was just nothing, and then you get the mountains, and you have the
Well, the
The landscape was so much different, though, hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
right.
There's been so much change that, I mean, what everybody's used to now is nothing compared to what it was.
was.
the
Right.
the Wichita Mountains are supposed to be the second oldest mountain range in the entire world. So
Who
you
knows
know,
what's
that's
really out there? You know.
those things used to tower higher than the Rockies. They used to be way bigger than the Rockies.
Imagine, the first person that walked up on those.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It'd have been an amazing sight. Imagine those mountains, like maybe 100 years after the volcano erupted. Just imagine the beauty in all the green
man.
and the animals that were around, the dinosaurs, all that. It would have been amazing to see.
Or the first person that walked up on the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Which I've never been. I want to go there too, but
There's just so much.
Go see how far down that is.
Yeah. What's that over there? What?
Yeah.
That.
Holler until you hit the bottom, Roy, so we can count.
Jeez.
Here, race this penny.
Did you see him bounce off? Did you see him bounce off that rock?
You guys are mean. You guys are mean.
I watched a movie the other night. I cannot remember the name of the movie. Kaylee cried. It's a something about the Old West. It's a story about the Old West. It's a weird name. It's like Once Upon a Time in the West or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good movie. This guy has a dog, and and things happen, and of course he has to avenge, and then they throw him off this cliff, and this one guy's like, did you see him bounce off that rock? He actually bounces.
Oh my goodness.
Michelle says, Bumbles really do bounce, mommy.
Yeah. If y'all get a chance, you should watch it if y'all like Westerns. It's a good Western. I like Westerns. Yeah, check it. I think it's called Once Upon a Time in the Old West. I think it's the name of it.
Oh yeah, I've
Do
seen
you
it.
think
I've seen
dinosaurs It's a pretty good movie, isn't it?
I take his movie suggestions with a grain of salt after Bone Tomahawk.
Hey, Bone
It's seven
Tomahawk is a
Dynasty
great
Seven
movie.
Brothers. I
That
love
is
that movie.
a
So does Cammy.
Bone Tomahawk. I love that movie. That is a great movie. I think there's a lesson to be learned. Careful what you go looking for because you might just find it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they found them all right.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
What was it? Did you say there was a movie based off of Bone Tomahawk?
No, Bone Tomahawk was based off of the Bigfoot Wars.
The Bigfoot Wars of Oklahoma.
Was an excellent source of ouch and gore. Then I probably would not watch it.
Yeah.
Whenever they found that guy was literally beside himself.
Mm-hmm.
Womp womp.
I guess they thought he lost his mind.
He lost half of himself along the way. And it kind of shows you though what the Bigfoot / other cryptids and feral people may possibly do to the women. In that movie, they are used as a breeding program, if you will. And the way that they kept the women from running off is they would gouge their eyes out, and they couldn't see to escape, and they would have their babies, and that's how they procreated. So I mean, and they would sneak into town and they would steal the women and stuff like that. So these guys, they went to go get the women back, and that's how it starts out, is going to get this man's wife, that was taken. And even the Indians, they told them whenever they went to go after them, don't go after these, you won't come back. They're not normal Indians. And they wasn't.
Yeah.
They were a little different.
Just
Hey, what did you all think about what I found in the woods the other night? Was that not weird? That couch and everything. Did y'all see that?
No, I think I missed that.
If y'all get a chance, look at that live. There, I found something out there that, man, it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Somebody put a couch out there. They made a fire pit. They put logs around it. They made a living room in the middle of the woods. I filmed it all.
Is that the live you did for before we did our Blood Moon live?
When did I do it, Jesse? I don't remember. I caught her reading chat.
Yes, it was. That was the one. That was your first one out. That was the one where after you read the story, wasn't it?
No. I read the story the next time I went.
Okay, so that was your first one out.
We'll take a look.
Yeah, really weird.
The thumbnail is actually a picture of the couch.
They had a couch, a fire pit, and firewood, and a bathroom, and everything.
Dang!
I guess
someone's gonna party.
I guess they regulate that spot.
But it was brand new.
Well, no.
Like it was not brand new, but it was like it had just looks like it had just been put together up there.
They plan on regulating that spot then.
Yeah. I don't think it had been there long either. And they use like a twine to put everything together with.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It was interesting.
Wow.
You get Jesse to go down there and stay all night.
Homeless.
Yeah. Jesse could go down there and sleep on the couch and see if anything happens.
Bigfoot went to Walmart and set his place up.
She's got a fireplace, a bathroom. I mean, what else could she want? She's got a couch, and you can watch the moon rise and the sunset.
They call it MT Paranormal Life.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Holy
MT
moly.
Paranormal Life.
Mike Tornacosta.
Mike from. Yep. How you doing? How you doing, Mike?
Holy crap!
Good friend of ours.
How
just
are
popped in
you?
the chat.
Wow,
That's
haven't
awesome.
seen you in forever.
Yeah, he's a very good paranormal investigator. He works. He's done a lot of work along with Jack the cameraman Riggs. Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of the cameraman.
Yeah. Yeah, they're based out of Ohio. And yeah, MT Paranormal Life. Y'all need to check him out.
Hang on, I'm getting there. No, come back.
Yeah, he's a good guy and very informative on his lives.
Dude. Whoa. How many things do you have? Oh, there it is.
Well, yeah, him and Elder Medicine Bear Claw. I started following them when I first started getting into doing this
There you go.
filming when I'm going out in the woods. I started following them, and they were following other people that I followed. So yeah, y'all check his.
I dropped his link.
Click on his link. Check him out. I mean, it's really really cool stuff that he films.
There's only one roll left, I think. Oh, shit.
But guys,
That's what.
it's getting to be about 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, what? Top
Hey,
ear
hey,
off.
hey! It ain't my. Hey! This ain't my fault. You have the kill switch. I don't have the kill switch tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just along for the ride. I'm just out here bone tomahawking.
Oh my goodness. No. You're welcome, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mike. It's good to see you. Good to see
It's
you.
always a pleasure.
Yeah, Mike,
Mike,
Jess,
and Mike, and Mike. No.
it's always a pleasure
It's
having
awesome
you
to see
guys
you guys.
on. It's always a pleasure going and getting on the show with y'all. We need to do this some more
We will
here in the near
absolutely,
future.
absolutely, and maybe we can
Everybody's
get together
camera
and
says hi.
collaborate.
Cammy's walking by going,
Hi, Cammy.
And she's making popcorn.
I hope. Tell her I hope the sopapillas were good tonight.
We're the
I have one. I have a question for Cammy. If I come visit you guys, is she gonna hook me up on the tacos at her restaurant?
Say it again, Jess.
So if I come visit you guys, is she gonna be able to hook me up on them tacos at her restaurant?
Yes.
All right.
Jessie will love your all's tacos because she likes to eat at Taco Bell.
Our tacos are way.
No, I don't like to eat at Taco Bell. It's just Taco Bell is the only thing that is open late at night. Otherwise, I usually go to. There's other places that I go to get my good tacos.
And nothing wrong with Taco Bell. Entertainment purposes only. I don't prefer it.
All I'm going to say, Jess, is my mom didn't even get food for free. Besides one time. So.
That's all right.
Special.
Oh yeah, Jessie's definitely special.
Oh, dang! And that's
one of these days.
And that's what
Jessie is so special. My accountant said I should be drawing a check on her. So we're privileged to have her with us.
Hey, Jess, if you come pick me up at night, you might get a free Earnhardt's drink or a free fountain drink like my mom did tonight.
Woohoo! Sounds good.
Heck yeah.
Is that based off of Dale? Is that based off of Dale Earnhardt?
No.
Oh.
I thought you were going to come over here.
It'd be cool if it was, but
everybody like Connor does. Shit.
You know, I have his die-cast race card and rookie card in a package unopened, along with Jeff Gordon's also.
Oh yeah.
Hello,
Jessie. Look.
Hi.
She said Jessie's lost in chat. Jesse's. Christy's like, Jessie, look.
Oh my goodness. I think it's time to go, y'all.
Blame it on the ADD.
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Oh, my God.
one of these times, I'll send you some pictures of my die casts that I have. I've got Dale Jr., Dale
Oh, yeah.
Sr., Richard
Okay.
Petty. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Love me some NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it used to be, though.
No, it's not.
No.
No, that all
Everything's
changed after Senior went in the wall.
Yeah,
After
it
that.
did.
Yep.
That broke my heart that day.
Yep.
That was kind of like the song. That was kind of like the day the music stopped in NASCAR right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's
Was that beeping in a microwave? LOL. Yes, Mike Turnacosta. Cammy made popcorn.
I might Turnacosta. All what I know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's time to go make some popcorn.
Yep. It's,
All right, guys. Hey, it was good being here.
Here's
I
my
appreciate
chicken
it.
pop. Whoops, where'd
It
go?
is a pleasure every time.
Okay, bye, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, he said hello.
Mike, Jess, like I said, it's always good to hang out with you guys and talk about whatever, because we talk about the full
Lord.
spectrum of stuff. So,
From Bigfoot to bugs.
That's it.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
right.
And we end it with Bone Tomahawk.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We'll see y'all on the next one.
All right.
Good
Have
night,
a nice
guys.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a nice night. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Another fun-filled night with abnormal investigations, y'all.
And arcane paranormal.
And arcane paranormal. Yes.
Yes.
Always a blast having them on.
Yes.
It's always a blast having y'all on the chat, and like you said, good to see you, Mike Turnacosta. Again, y'all go check his link out, because you'll like it. It's some cool stuff. And
Oh, thank you, Amber.
and we will be getting a video up on CRJ Designs here pretty soon.
Yeah. I forget about that.
Yeah, we just got to finish it up. But y'all be looking out for that too. Christy's YouTube channel, CRJ Designs. But
Drop my link too.
yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Same time, 8 p.m. Central, every Wednesday. Bigfoot and stuff. So on that note, y'all have a good night.
And keep watching.
All right, good night, everybody. Whispers in the woods where shadows play. Legends come alive at the break of day. Footsteps echo loud, but no one's there. Bigfoot's lurking in the midnight air. Fragmented house beneath the moonlit gloom. Eyes that shine like fire in a room of doom. Poltergeist dancing, moving through the halls. Ancient secrets breaking through the walls. O.C.S.T is more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in a silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fright. Cryptids in your mind, let your wonder grow. The hidden world is ours to know. From the forest deep to the attic's dust. O.C.S.T, we're learning to trust.
Footprints in the snow where the brave won't tread. Hidden voices calling from the things we've read. The unknown sings with a haunting sound, empowering us as the tales go around. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fight. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fight.